wanna be see-through. Transparency when you look at me. You know I can teach you everything. Are you hearing me? It's so hard to reach you.
What's going on, y'all? YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's Coach Adam, your gifted purpose life coach. What that means is I help you use your gifts so that you live life in purpose, on purpose. Coming at y'all with another Transparent Tuesdays, y'all. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about balancing the ego. Okay? Got a big ego. Alright, so we're going to talk about balancing the ego. Alright, so what is ego? Ego is a sense of your own self-worth. So when we hear that, a lot of times we hear that the ego is bad. Right? The ego is not bad. It is only bad when you are out of alignment with your core values. It's only bad when it's too big or if it's too small. Okay? So you gotta keep your ego in balance, like most things. Too much of anything isn't good. So, talk a little bit about ego, and then I'll share with you some of my experiences with dealing with my ego and making sure that I remain centered, balanced, neutral. So what happens if my ego is too big? Couple of things how you can identify for yourself, because we want to change to be the best version of ourselves. So I'm a life coach, I'm a mental health life coach, and we take our own medicine. A big thing about our company and our institution and our tribe at Jice Loves is that we take our own medicine. We have the tools to coach ourselves when we're faced with certain challenges, when we're not doing our inner work, when we're not showing up at our best selves, when we're not showing up in excellence. What my life coach would say is, I need you to coach yourself. I need you to do your work, do your inner work, and get off that bullshit. Okay, that's how she would say it. All right, so because I like directness, but it works for me. Hopefully, join the tribe if it works for you. All right, so if your ego is too large, what tends to happen is you never admit to when you're wrong. Have you ever had those friends, or are you one of those people who can always see the faults in other people? I believe that there is a saying that the sins that you see in me, you should be able to see them in yourself. I am you. So if you see something that I'm doing that's wrong, or something that you're judging me for, you can probably really identify that because you do the same thing. A lot of times we have these big standards and high standards that we have for other people that we don't even have for ourselves. So when it comes to them making a mistake, that's why it's important to lead with love. When people don't show up as the best version of themselves, we tend to shun, abandon, forsake them. Oh, I ain't dealing with them. My peace, ain't anything, and that's just not love. This is not love. Abandoning people, forsaking them, leaving them, that's not love. Even when they're wrong. But the important part is, can you see in that situation the part that you played? Can you see where you could have done something differently, said something differently, said it with a little love and compassion that could have changed the outcome? So that's a sign that you need to work towards balance, or a suggestion that you can work towards balancing your egos. Another sign is when you feel like you're more important than other people. You know, I've been around doing this entrepreneurship thing for about 4 or 5 years now here in Dallas. And, you know, I say this all the time, like, I fly to Houston like at least twice a month. And the culture, especially for people that look like this, not like this, the culture in Houston of people that look like this is totally different from Dallas. Totally different, night and day. And I've heard some people say, some organizations here in Dallas say, oh, we're the best. We teach entrepreneurship. We the best. We the, you know, just putting this standard that because of what you do, that makes you better. Or because of, you know, how big you are, that means you're better. Or how much money you make, that means you're better. The clothes you wear, the car you drive, that makes you better. That's a sign that you really need a life coach and probably a therapist to help you balance your ego. Say it with love. So the flip side of that is this. You also may know some people who act like this, but you probably didn't know that it was ego. It was an ego issue. So when your ego is too small, how you can identify that is they don't know their own self-worth. You know, a lot of people have had to tell me that, hey, I believe in, you know, what it is that you're doing. And sometimes I struggled with just not seeing it for myself. You know, that's an issue of ego, you know. And then me balancing it. Like, I'm a fire sign, so I have to, like, maintain my flames. You know, fire can destroy and it can create. So I look at the ego as that flame where I'm constantly working to keep it balanced and centered and controlled. You know, and also, you know, if you know, I'm a martial artist. If you know me, you know I'm a martial artist, and that's you know, one of our practices. But another sign that you can tell that the ego is too small is that you feel unworthy. You know, when I first started doing enrichment programs, and this is how I knew that this is what I needed to be doing, I asked my kids, you know, give me something that's that you need to work on, that you need to improve, and then give me three things that you need to work on to improve, and 3 things that make you great. Doing this program, they were mostly like middle school students. They could give me a list of things that they needed to improve, things that they were bad at, but when I would ask them, tell me something that makes you great, tell me something that makes you unique, majority of my students could not tell me one thing. These are real numbers. Majority of my students, my scholars, could not tell me one thing that makes them great. Y'all, that crushed me. That really broke my heart. That they couldn't identify their own self-worth. So, you know, and that's, you know, at that time I was doing enrichment programs, photography, entrepreneurship, and as I'm asking them, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm hearing, I want to be a athlete, I want to be an NFL player, NBA player, I want to be a rapper. That's when I knew that, okay, in order for me to be effective at teaching enrichment and entrepreneurship, I needed to target the mindset. Because the mindset that I was getting from the kids, the community that I serve, I'm in the hood, y'all. The community that I serve, they only see one way out: entertainment and sports. And then when you ask them, what's great about them. And we were just at a school. I just went to a school today, and it was the same thing. Majority of the students, we only talked to boys today, but majority of the students, they wanted to be athletes. They wanted to be NFL players. You know, we know the likelihood of that. And not to say that you can't do that, but it just solidifies the work that needs to be done, and how with help, with guidance, with coaching, you can help balance that ego so that it's at a healthy size. It's not too big to where, you know, you're not admitting your part in a conflict. You don't think that you're more important or better than other people, and you know and can identify your self-worth. All right, so transparent share out. So I bring these transparent Tuesdays to you guys because I was told that on Facebook that's not who I am in real life. I beg to differ, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna remove my mask and I'm gonna let my walls down, and I'm gonna show you, if I can show you the glitz and the glamour, then I can show you the real, the scars, the bruises, the blemishes, the bumps, okay? All right, so had this experience, right? You know, I go hard for my kids, and I am your gifted purpose life coach. You use your gifts, you live a purposeful life. So I believe that everybody has a gift. Everybody has a gift. And you can use that gift to not only sustain you financially, but in multiple aspects of your life, especially the ones that matter, okay? So one of my clients, he wants to be, you guessed it, can you guess it? A football player. So that's not something I can teach. I don't watch football, I don't play football, never played football, I didn't have a dad to teach me how to play football. I can't even catch a football, Jesus. But he wanted or wants to be an NFL player. So he's in the hood, so I said, you know what? And he had some things that happened to him that just changed his confidence. Some domestic violence kind of things, some, you know, death in the family kind of things, some teasing and bullying kind of things. I told his mom, I said, you know, Miss such and such, I'm going to continue to keep him inspired to play football, because he was losing his motivation, his drive to want to go to practice. So, you know, I take him downtown, or I go downtown, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna find a gym that's football themed. So another trainer can come in, another coach can come in and teach what I can't, which is football. So go to this gym, it's called Cowboys Fit in AT&T Plaza, downtown Dallas, right? Go to this gym, let the people know this is what I'm trying to do. I want to purchase a membership. I already have a gym membership. This membership is not really for me, although I will use the membership because it's downtown. That's my central access point. And you know, they're just giving me a hard time. I don't know if it was a racial thing. I don't know if it's a power thing. I don't know if it's an ego thing, but just giving me a hard time. You know, and I'm like, you know, listen, as a life coach, we're counselors. We build through Medicaid. Same thing that governs HIPAA. Doctors governs us. You know, he was saying that, oh, you know, it has to have a parent, and the parent got to sign. And I'm trying to let this man know, like, you know, we can sign on behalf of the parent. You know, if I can release and take kids from school on behalf of the parent, I should be able to sign for a parent for them to go into the gym, as long as I'm with them and watching them, and as long as I don't step on the toes of the trainer, right? So this is all the stuff that I got straight before I brought the client to the gym. So I bring the client to the gym, and you know, we get in, you know, we change out. One of the staff at Cowboys Fit comes and tells me, you know, my manager gonna say something. Just say da 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 da. Tells me the game. And I'm just like, okay, I appreciate it. You know, I'm honest and transparent. I'm like, okay, we gonna work it out, because you can obviously see what it is that I'm trying to do. I'm bringing in, the kid was a little kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell what it is that I'm trying to do. So bring this kid in. As soon as the manager sees me, he's ready. He's ready, because our first conversation, I'm sure, you tell me no, I ain't hearing it when it comes to the kids, okay? So he ready to come, ready for the pew pew. So comes to me, parent got to sign, da 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 da. It's our policy, this. And I'm like, okay, trying to get him to understand what I do in my role, because most people don't understand what is a life coach, like what is that? So I'm trying to get him to understand, right? He not trying to hear none of that. I'm like, I can sign on behalf of the parent, our policy, and I'm just like, and then he says something, well, if I would have said it to anybody else, they would have just went with it. You have to be difficult. So at that time, I knew that, okay, this is something that, he's adamant on. It doesn't matter what I say to challenge what he says or validate what he says, or give credentials to who I am and the capacity that I have to this client. So I started recording him and going live. And then it just changed the mood, right? That's where my ego said, you got me up, okay? I'm finna bring this kid in here and inspire him. I don't give what you say, okay? That's where my ego got a little too big, And I'm like, show me the policy where it says this child cannot be in here with me. So it got bad, y'all. Got real bad. So they called security. They called the police on me for bringing this child into this gym. So, we work with the police. You know what I'm saying? We do business with the police. Shout out to Sergeant Tawana, Dallas Police Department. Shout out to Officer Tolbert. Shout out to my cousin, who is a sergeant in Arlington. Like, I have a different outlook of police, right? So I immediately called the police. My friend. Friend, what do I need to do? Because I'm pissed. I'm livid. My ego is big. I don't think that I'm better than anybody, but right now I can't see my wrong in this, and I'm about to burn the place down, okay? So what the police officer tells me is, if they're asking you to leave and you don't leave, that's trespassing, and you can go to jail. Now think about what's gonna happen to your client. First of all, my client is watching this whole thing transpire. Now he kind of aloof and playing on the equipment, and not really understanding the gravity of the situation. And I'm calm, I'm polite, but I'm very assertive. And just pointing out my wrongs, a little passive aggressive. Okay, so I can do that. You coming at me, you shooting, you firing, I'm gonna shoot back. Okay, but that's my fault. So they call up, I'm asking this police officer, like, what should I do? He's like, the kid is watching you, how is he gonna get home if something happens to you if you go to jail? So he was just like, at that point, and he gave me these words that have just really been resonating with me over the past 2 weeks since this incident happened. He said, if people don't believe in your vision, don't take it personal. God gave you the vision, continue to push through and see it through. Just walk away, just find another place, So eventually that's that time, that's that transparent time, that's the hard part where you gotta do your inner work. You have to start to look at yourself in the mirror, you have to see your own blemishes. And I had to say, okay, ego getting a little big. And this can go two ways. And what's the most important thing in this situation? And it was the client. So I left. Now I was pissed. People, I went live. So people telling me, oh, you can sue them, you can do this, you can do that, like I don't want to put all that energy into that. I'm just going to put them on blast. Cowboys Fit downtown at AT&T Stadium. Let them know, okay? But I done let it go. All right, so in that moment, then I had to call my life coach. And that's exactly what she said. She was just like, I have to battle my ego every day. My life coach is a fabulous black woman. I was raised by black women. Fabulous, darling, fabulous. And it's a challenge that she says she wakes up and has to say, I would not let my ego take control and get too big. Because people are automatically going to have these impressions. Like, I'm sure people think, because she stays designer down. So I'm sure people think, whatever. It may trigger their insecurities, whatever. So we constantly have to be in awareness of our ego. Some things we can control, some things we can't. But that was something where she said, use this as a teachable moment for your client because, everybody can use room for improvement. This is the point of Transparent Tuesdays. Doesn't mean that I'm perfect. What that means is in that moment, I had to realize, okay, I can make a choice. I can make a choice where this young man will watch somebody who's here to pour into his life, make choices to put him in a worse situation, or I could say, clients, this is what happened. I was very disappointed in these people and how I handled it. Even though I didn't get irate or yelled or anything like that, I still was passive aggressive, which escalated the situation.
I wanna be see-through. Transparency, when you look at me, I can teach you everything. Are you hearing me? It's so hard to reach.